It is my pleasure to also introduce our next inductee, Bill Morgan. Bill met his friend and fellow Tiger, Rich Kinder, during their college years at Mizzou. As co-founders of Kinder Morgan Incorporated, they oversaw its rapid growth into one of the largest energy infrastructure companies in North America. He and his wife Sarah are both proud alumni and have long supported the university. When their alma mater reached out with an innovative idea, Bill immediately committed to making it happen. The MU School of Law introduced the Veterans Clinic in 2014. With Bill's help, they've been able to expand their space, add an additional faculty member, and help veterans across rural Missouri navigate the complex and often overwhelming legal challenges in applying for and receiving the disability benefits they deserve. As a law school alum, Bill has a unique understanding of the generational good this clinic can do, not just for veterans, but for MU's law students who gain real-world knowledge of the impact that their service can have. Let's learn a little more about Bill Morgan.
He's a very rare person. I met Bill Morgan at University of Missouri in the fall of 1964. Moved in with Bill in the fall of 65. He asked me to be a groomsman in their wedding in the next spring. So since that time, Sarah has always credited me with civilizing Bill and making him decent enough to marry her.
Going in on 60 years now, 50-something years, he's about as close a friend as I have.
Rich, Bill, and myself all started and completed our time at MU during the 1960s. It was a tumultuous decade. The overriding ongoing issue for most of us was the Vietnam War. And as the decade progressed, the war got wider and more deadly.
At the end of our time in Columbia, we were all subject to the draft.
He understands the horrors of war as well as anybody else. He also knows what it's like to be a lawyer and a law student and what it's like to be able to have experiential learning. So having those things come together in Bill and for Bill to have the vision to see what we could do here has been a really remarkable thing. We now have the staff that we needed. We have the space that we needed. We have the infrastructure that we needed to be able to do these things for our nation's veterans. The Mizzou Veterans Clinic wouldn't be the Mizzou Veterans Clinic without Bill Morgan. We started on a shoestring, and we remained on a shoestring until Bill Morgan came along.
Bill asked me to join the board of directors of Kinder Morgan at the very early stages, which I did. Several other people that I had known at Mizzou were involved with the company, so it was always a time when we were renewing old friendships and remembering old relationships.
We had a good team that we built. We had complete openness among us. We knew each other so well, we could kind of read the other's thoughts. Bill is a really smart guy, a great businessman, and a great negotiator. Sometimes I'd put him in the room and I'd just leave because I knew if I stayed in, I'd screw it up, So sometimes he would even say, look, Rich, if you'll just be silent or you'll leave the room, I can cut this deal on favorable terms.
In business, Rich and Bill turned out, of course, to be a great combination. The whole of their skills works together to provide greater result than the sum of the parts.
It was more successful because the two of us were partners together. But in the meantime, we had a lot of fun doing it.
The primary success is really Bill and Rich's vision and their hard work and the standards they set for everybody else in the company. Midwest culture of honesty and hard work and family and respect for others was strengthened at Mizzou.
Bill has also been an amazing steward of his father's scholarship. His father was a Supreme Court justice in Missouri. And in fact, some of those scholarship recipients have been students in our clinic. And it's sort of a nice circle of life that we see there.
Judge Morgan died in 1998, which allowed him to see the founding of Kinder Morgan. Bill was very proud of him, and he was very proud of Bill.
On behalf of the University of Missouri, it is my honor to induct Bill Morgan into the Mizzou Hall of Fame.
I think I can consider this honor a capstone to my career, and I appreciate the honor very much from the University of Missouri. And in accepting this honor, I also want to thank my wife. We've been married for 54 years, and when Rich and I formed Kinder Morgan, Sarah and I were living in Kansas City. And she was very involved in charitable and political and cultural activities. We were very happy in Kansas City. And I knew that in making the acquisition, for it to work right, we were going to need to relocate to Houston. And while she was begrudging at first, eventually she did decide that it made sense for us. And I really do want to thank her for that. The other person I would like to thank is Al Atterbury. I've actually known Al longer than anyone we've been talking about. He and I were sophomores in high school in Chillicothe, Missouri, a long time ago. And Al has been absolutely a lifelong friend over the years. He's been a good sounding board for me. And that relationship is I would put right up there with my relationship with Rich Kinder in terms of our friendship, and just someone who I enjoy being together with very much. Well, the best part of my experience at the University of Missouri is the people that I've met, and I am proud of the education that I received. I'm a firm believer that in most top quality universities, if you want to get a good education, you can do it. And I'm proud of Mizzou. Thank you.